This is the Almost Timely newsletter for the week of October 8th, 2023. Content authenticity statement. 100% of this issue is generated by me, the human. No AI was used to generate any part of this issue. There's a link at the top of the newsletter to explain why this kind of statement is important. All right, what's on my mind this week? Let's talk about how to pilot an AI deployment, how to start using AI at your company. This past week, I had the pleasure and the privilege of speaking at the Marketing Profs B2B Forum here in Boston. One of the questions that consistently comes up time and time again when I'm doing my talk about AI, generative AI, is how to get started using artificial intelligence, how to pilot an AI project. So today, let's look at a 3-step process for piloting an AI project at your company, your organization, or even just your team. Step 1. Understand the use case matrix. The first part of developing a pilot project for AI is having an idea of even what kinds of tasks you would not want AI's help with. You can't undertake a pilot successfully if it's solving problems no one has, right? Solutions in search of a problem never go well. So let's start here with the use case matrix. What we have here is a straightforward matrix with 2 axes, internal versus external, and innovation versus optimization. First, internal versus external. For any given task, is it an internal task or an external task, meaning within your organization or customer-facing or vendor-facing, partner-facing, etc., outside the company? This is an important consideration because at least when it comes to AI, customer-facing tasks tend to be higher priority, as they should be, and the aversion to risk is sensibly higher. Second, innovation versus optimization. For any given task, is the task one in which you want to make incremental optimizations or something net new? For example, if you're an insurance company, a large language model that can answer customer questions about policies would be an innovation. A large language model that can scan in claims and categorize them for speeding up claim prioritization probably be an optimization. Think through all of the problems your company is facing right now and see where they fit in. For example, the other week, Katie and I were discussing some shortcomings in HubSpot's built-in reporting. Well, they're not necessarily shortcomings so much as we didn't want to pay like a gazillion dollars to upgrade to the next version to do those things. So I used ChatGPT's code generation capabilities to write new code that performed the reporting tasks exactly the way we want them done. That is an example of an optimization that's internal. Customers won't see it. And it's not breaking new ground, but it does make an internal process that exists much, much better. Sit down with your stakeholders and jot down all the processes which are real, authentic problems you face inside your company using this 2x2 matrix so you can start to assess which ones AI might be able to help you with. Step 2, understanding the use cases. One of the challenges of artificial intelligence, particularly generative AI, is that generative AI uses languages and imagery, right? Those are its primary outputs. In turn, that means any task which uses language or imagery could potentially be a task suited for generative AI. Think about it for a moment. Can you name a single function inside your company that does not use language or imagery as part of the core tasks you perform? I can't. So a part of the challenge of determining where to pilot AI is to look at the categories of use cases for generative AI. I break them up into 6 broad categories: generation, extraction, summarization, rewriting, classification, and question answering. Let's talk through these relatively quickly. Generation is very straightforward. Everyone understands generation. Write me a blog post, write me an email, create an image of a dog on a skateboard. Generation is intuitive for us and doesn't require a whole lot of explanation. Extraction is the process of taking data out of provided data. For example, if I give a generative AI system a PDF that has some tables in it, I could use a large language model to extract those tables from the PDF and convert them into a CSV for Microsoft Excel. Summarization is when we take big text and turn it into small text. Take a transcript from a conference call and extract out the meeting notes and action items. Take a long YouTube video and convert it into a bullet point summary, etc., etc. We summarize things all the time, and language models are capable of summarizing things quickly and very capably. Rewriting, equally straightforward. Take this English language paragraph and rewrite it in Swahili or maybe emoji. Explain the concept of quantum superposition in terms of pizza. Convert this profanity-laced diatribe into a professional memo. That's rewriting. Classification is when we apply language models to understanding a body of text and what categories it fits into. Think about a pile of blog posts from your company blog. A large language model could automatically assign topics and categories for every post, so you wouldn't have to do that manually. Finally, question answering is when we ask language models questions from a body of knowledge that we want answers to. For example, imagine loading up an RFP response. Those are fun to read, aren't they? Imagine loading that RFP response to a language model and saying, here's the 5 things I care about. Tell me, does this RFP response meet those conditions? That's question answering, and it's very powerful. It's a very powerful way to talk to our knowledge bases. Once we understand these core use case categories, we can examine all the ways we'd like to apply AI from our 2x2 matrix and see if the tasks which make up our use case fit in these categories or not. This is an essential step because it helps us to understand whether generative AI is the right fit or not. If a task doesn't fit in one of these use case categories, either you haven't broken down the task granularly enough into its component tasks, or you have a task that simply is not suited for generative AI. So you would take the results of your 2x2 matrix and then tag each of the tasks with one of these 6 use case categories. And again, if a task doesn't fit in a use case category, AI probably isn't the right choice for it and it should be removed from the matrix. Step 3. Once you've laid out your use cases from your matrix and tagged each use case with one of the 6 use case categories that are the best fit, the final step is to assess priority. Assessing priority for these tasks is not just a gut feeling, nor is it just the highest individually paid person's opinion in the room. We want to clearly articulate the use case's solution so that the priority becomes evident and less difficult to argue with. We do this through user stories. The basic template for user story is, as your role, I need to, the task, so that the result. In the example above with the HubSpot reporting, Katie's user story would have been, as a CEO, I need to know what prospects in our HubSpot CRM haven't interacted with us in 30 days so that I can commission an outreach process for reactivating prospects to increase the sales pipeline. In this user story, it's clear what the ask is, what the outcome is, and how the outcome matters to our company. This use case is all about revenue generation, and it would therefore be wise for us to prioritize it if we want more sales pipeline. So, your next step, once you've done your 2x2 matrix, once you've assigned one of the 6 use case categories to each of the tasks, is to write out clear user stories for each of the tasks in the use case matrix as clearly as the one we just did. We want that clarity so that we can prioritize and organize all the ways we could use AI into coherent lists of what we should use AI to accomplish. The final step in this example would be for the stakeholders to review all the user stories in detail and decide, based on what those user stories focus on, like revenue generation, which tasks you should pilot AI with first. If you follow these steps, if you follow this process, you are much more likely to see positive and meaningful results from generative AI than if you just wing it, right? Or you create solutions in search of a problem. And shameless plug, my company, Trust Insights, well, we do exactly this kind of evaluation for companies, from basic strategic consulting on AI to workshops to having us sitting in the room with you, guiding you through this process in a lot more depth than 10 minutes of video, guiding you through advanced versions of exercise. So if you want help with this, hit up the link in the newsletter or just go to trustinsights.ai/AI services. All right, let's talk about things from this past week. Had a post this week on how generative AI will reshape marketing. I think is worth noting. And then 2 pieces on direct mail, how AI is going to impact direct mail, and advice for print companies in the digital age. So go check those out. Spent some time really looking at the print industry, and there's some really cool opportunities. There's some really cool ways to use print, and AI together to generate some interesting results. Let's take a look at jobs this week. We have digital e-commerce analyst at Holland America Group Careers, e-commerce analyst and marketing assistant Henry Schein, also omni-channel customer marketing manager Henry Schein, Scrum Master at Holland America, Senior Engineer of Marketing Platform at Confused.com, Senior PPC Manager and Senior Social Media Executive also at Confused.com, and Staff Data Engineer at Crisis Text Line. Some cool stuff there. All right, in the news this week, how to create a social media marketing strategy in 11 steps, ethical AI in social media marketing, transparent labeling for AI-generated content. We're seeing a lot of people talking about transparency and disclosure, so it's a good idea to be doing that. Google had an indexing bug. New content was not showing up in search, and Google Update decreases search engine result frequently asked questions by 37%. So that category of content apparently got a whack in the knees. We have new things on AI, in particular about artists losing the war against AI when it comes to visual art. We have hierarchical, navigable small worlds and data science classifications. Some cool stuff from IBM on unleashing growth and innovation with partnerships and AI goals and data lake houses. And also, 6,100 gaming jobs have been cut this year so far, according to VentureBeat, and proof that the internet is actually worse in the Atlantic. Upcoming events. I'll be at Content Jam in Chicago in a couple of weeks, followed by the Society for Marketing Professional Services, the AEC AI conference in DC. Humanize Your Brand online. Site Improves webinar on SEO and AI in October, also online. Digital Now, first week of November in Denver. AI Impact, also online in November, and Social Media Marketing World in San Diego in February. So lots and lots of events coming up about artificial intelligence and all the ways that it's being used. So we've got a lot to look at, a lot to enjoy. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to hearing from you. Remember to vote in each weekly poll. Let me know if that issue of the newsletter was good or not. Thanks for your attention, and I'll talk to you soon.
If you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.